还是三位，我应该说，其实我剧里面的每一位，你看到的每一位，尤其是女演员，其实她们都是主角。我几乎给他们的戏份是平均的。那这三位，我很高兴他们愿意来釜山，你知道，跟着导演一起。导演怕导演太孤单，他愿意跟着。一方，我觉得应该是会有共同点吧。对，因为我们好像在拍之前，我们都有跟导演一起算是聊过剧本，然后话题，甚至导演之前有做田野调查，对，然后我是有被田野调查的其中一位，所以其实我很开心可以跟导演一起合作，然后배우들이무대뒤에서 그러니까 개인적인 삶을 어떻게 살아가고 있는지 그리고 어떤 마음을 갖고 있는지 그 사람에 대해서 이야기를 하는 그런 계기가 되었기 때문에 저도 촬영을 하고 또 작품을 보면서 감동을 많이 받았습니다. 오늘 제가 이 작품을 여러분들처럼 처음 봤습니다. 객석에 앉아서 볼 때의 마음은 아마 여러분들의 마음과 다르지 않았을 거라고 생각을 하고요. 특히 그 극 중에서 어린 여배우가 배우가 되기 위해서 고군분투하는 그런 장면들, 그리고 엄마와 딸이 갈등을 겪고 서로 말다툼을 하는 과정, 그 과정에서 저도 촬영 현장에서 울기도 많이 울었거든요. 그래서 오늘 이렇게 관객으로 여러분들과 함께 이 작품을 온전히 누릴 수 있어서 굉장히 행복합니다.
영화 산업 안에서 대만 영화 산업 안에서 여성들이 또 겪게 되는 어떤 차별적인 현실, 특히 이제 여배우들이 겪게 되는 어떤 이제 외모에 대한 어떤 품평이라거나 촬영 현장 안에서 성희롱이라거나 아니면은 또뭐 이렇게 다양한 어떤 여성 캐릭터의 부재라거나 이런 부분들을 좀 다루고 있는데요. 감독님께서도 이제 배우이자 시나리오 작가이자 그리고 이제 연출자로서 이제 이런 어떤 주제를 다루게 된 어떤 계기가 있으셨는지 그리고 그런 어떤 주제를 다루고 있는 만큼 배우분들과의 협업 관계가 좀 남달랐을 것 같은데 좀 어떤 부분에 주안점을 두셨는지 여쭤보고 네 넘어가도록 하겠습니다.
因为这次有太多的不同类型的关于女演员的故事在里面。当然，其实在里面你
첫번째 여신, 첫 번째 우상은 왕조현이었습니다. 그래서 천녀유혼 영화를 10번, 20번이고 돌려보고 보고 나면 방에 와서 거울 보면서 이불 뒤집어 쓰고 왕조현 흉내도 내보고 그랬었습니다. 물론 그 이후에 나이가 되고 자라면서 우상들이 여러 번 바뀌기도 했지만 저도 그렇게 저만의 여신이 있었고요. 저도 한때는 슈아이마였습니다.
好，我的偶像是影城欧巴，赵寅成欧巴，
是欧巴卡巴查是谁哦？欧巴卡巴查是谁哦？
I'm the director of photography of the film, and I'm really excited to be here and to also looking forward to hearing your questions and your remarks.
네, 안녕하십니까. 먼저 이렇게 와주신 관객 여러분들 진심으로 감사드립니다. 저는 영화라는 것이 여러분들을 통해서 완성된다라고 생각이 되어서 여러분들께서 오신 게 너무나도 뜻깊습니다. 그리고 부산영화제에도 저희를 와주시게 해주신 거 너무나도 감사드리고요. 오늘 감독님께서는 못 오셨습니다. 그러나 이제 촬영 감독님께서 오신 거고요. 그래서 너무나도 뜻깊고 여러분들의 질문과 그리고 코멘트 부탁드립니다.
저희 감독님과 이 작품을 준비하면서 촬영 감독으로서 어떤 점을 좀 가장 염두에 두고 감독님께서 뭐 말씀하셨는지 혹은 이제 두 분이 상의를 하셨는지 좀 포인트를 좀 알려주시면 감사할 것 같습니다.
So I would like to ask about the relationship between you and the director. Is it your first time working together, and how was the preparation? As a cinematographer, what were some of the things that you wanted to focus on in this film? Were you asked or requested by the director, or did you guys talk together?
So basically, that was my first time to work with the director. We need to know actually, Hiti, the director, has been shooting this subject for decades, like maybe more than 20 years. So he knows a lot about it. He went through that. So, and he was doing mostly maybe documentaries. He did few fictions before, but now it's maybe his return to his fiction side. And he was looking for a cinematographer who was mostly more involved with fiction, because I don't do maybe much documentaries. And quickly, actually, it's more him actually that who brought me into his world, because I was like, I mean, I've been living in Asia for many years, but I was mostly in China, and I didn't know much about Cambodia and all Cambodian history. And I think the very first thing that he shared with me was all those archives that you saw in the film, and I think his objective was to very quickly, I think he had in mind that it would be a fiction, but using archive, those animation also, and real actors. And I think for him it was important to have this multi-format film to create different layers. And because he was always thinking the Vietnamese will invade, will attack Cambodia, which eventually they did. But Pol Pot just killed many people also surrounding him in his own team, because he thought that they would betray him. So he had to kill first in case he might be killed also. For the photographer, it's not very clear. We don't really know. In my opinion, he's also dead, and he's not because he went to Vietnam or Vietnamese attack or whatever. He was just too present. He was just like taking pictures of everything. Now it's like why them and not the journalist? That's a question, because actually the journalist exists. She's still alive. She's from the U.S., Elizabeth Baker, and the film is based on her own story. So you can read the book, which is called When the War Was Over, and in chapter 11, it's actually all her memory from that period. And she said actually it could have been her actually also. So it's you don't know. It's. Yes, I mean, if you go to Cambodia, Phnom Penh, definitely, also, I encourage you to go to this S21. It's horrific, but also you realize how horrific it was, and I think you won't forget. It's like, I went there just before the shoot. It's been a year and a half. It's not a single day I don't think about that place now. It's just like and it's not the only place on earth, it's like the many countries who also did that. And I think the message is because as it's based on a true story, but not only, there's also lots of fiction elements in that. For Riti, it was very important that it is a universal message for actually contemporary world, for the politicians we're having now also. I was telling before, is actually Pol Pot's lines, his dialogue actually, Riti uses a French politician lines. A guy who's alive right now and who's participating in elections in France. So just to say those kind of speeches, they're always here. It's the same as fake news, disinformation. What do we read every day in newspapers? Because we should not forget that during that period, actually, I'm talking about France because it's my country, but also because Riti knows a lot about that. And it was a lot of propaganda, actually. A lot of French newspapers were supporting Cambodia regime because they didn't know what was going on. For them, they thought there was it's a new world, it's equality for everyone, it's great. But they didn't know what they were doing exactly. So it's a lot to say about nowadays. How do we see the news? What do we read? How critics, we need to be critical about what we see, we watch, we listen to, the way we speak, because everything can be changed. And yeah.
네, 일단은 캄보디아 가시면은 S21 수용소를 방문해 보시는 걸 추천드립니다. 너무나도 끔찍한 그 역사가 담긴 공간이라서 네, 가보시면 좋을 것 같은데요. 촬영하기 전에 직접 한번 이제 갔는데 1년 반이나 지났는데도 지금까지도 매일매일 생각납니다. 그렇기 때문에 이것뿐만 아니라 가짜 정보들도 지금 현재 너무나도 많이 있는 그런 시대 속에 살아가고 있고, 우리가 읽는 그 신문에서의 내용들이 정말 맞는 것인지를 생각해 볼 필요가 있는 것 같아요. 왜냐하면 제가 이제 프랑스인이기 때문에 이제 프랑스에 대해서 말씀을 드리자면, 그때 당시에는 선전물들이 많았습니다. 그로 인해서 캄보디아에서 어떤 일들이 일어나고 있었는지 모르기 때문에 그 정권을 지지하는 그러한 뉴스들이 많이 있었어요. 평등과 관련돼서 지금 추구하고 있구나, 너무나도 좋구나, 이런 생각들을 많이 하게 된 것 같습니다. 그래서 우리가 뉴스를 어떻게 바라보느냐, 우리는 항상 비판적인 시각을 가지고 뉴스를 볼 필요가 있는 것 같습니다.
And just to add a few things also, it's always easier for us now because that was in the 70s. So with the distance, with all the books we read or movies we watch, it's it is horrible. We know it. Yeah, but if you go back to the 70s or if you nowadays, how would you know in 20 years how the world will be? And because of whom? Because of which dialogues, which speeches. So I think we need to be just careful with that, as just as individuals, in society,
to be smart, not smart, just I think to be critical and to know exactly what we're reading. Is it okay? Just to analyze a little bit more than just take it for granted. Yeah.
그리고 1970년대에 일어났던 일들을 지금은 이제는 거리를 두고 볼 수 있지만 지금 이제 뉴스나 이런 TV나 등등에서 나오는 것들이 이제 20년 뒤에 어떤 진실로 이어질지를 저희는 지금 현재로서는 알 수 없는 상황이기 때문에 좀 더 조심스럽게 접근을 하면 좋을 것 같아요. 우리가 이제 듣고 그리고 읽는 모든 것들에 있어서 조금 더 분석력을 가지고 스마트하게 접근해 보면 좋을 것 같습니다.